Alright, what's up, everybody? Back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys having a good one. Today, we'll be talking about some free agents that are still left on the market. They have not been signed yet as I'm recording this. I'm talking about 5 free agents that could come in and really help teams right now, you know? There's a lot of dudes out there I feel like can get a contract and can really make a difference and impact on some teams. We're going to talk about them really quick. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. Really appreciate it. If you like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications on, stuff like that. I really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. Look at the analytics. A little bit less than 1% of you that actually watch the videos are subscribed. So, if you're watching the content and you like it, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it a whole lot. And, yeah, I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So, the first free agent we're going to talk about is arguably the best guy left there on the market, which is Christian Wood. There's been a lot of talk in the last few days about potential teams trying to get involved with him. The Lakers are a team. I think the Heat, the Bulls, the Mavs haven't even ruled out signing, trading him away. Yeah, Christian Wood it's a very interesting case because if you look at him like statistically and stuff like that, you would think, yeah, he's really good. But there's just a lot of factors that tie into why Christian Wood's still a free agent. Last year in Dallas, he averaged 16, 7, an assist and a block. He shot 51% from the field, 37% from three. The thing is about Christian Wood is we don't really know how well he can contribute to a winning team. Last year in Dallas, he was supposed to be a big difference maker, and he had a solid season, obviously, but he just wasn't really a big X factor for them. He has some good games, and he didn't even become a starter until like injuries happened, and a lot of the other bigs weren't doing well. But defensively, he's not great. You know, being a 6'10", yeah, 6'10" forward center. He doesn't really have like the lateral quickness, good perimeter defenses to keep up with forwards, and he also can't protect the rim like like a center. So his defense is very questionable and it's very weird. And yeah, just his impact on winning teams. He has not been on a winning team where he's been a big part of it. You know, his best years are with the Detroit Pistons, the Houston Rockets, where it's like, yeah, he was good, but they were only winning like 21 games. So like, how much does he contribute to winning? And then last year in Dallas, they missed out on the playoffs. You know, which is not a good look for him either. Which is why he's still a free agent. I think, don't get me wrong, I still think Christian Wood's pretty good, and I think if he goes to a team with a smaller role, a team like the Heat, where he's gonna have a smaller role, he'll back up Bam, and they also have Thomas Bryant there, so he'll probably be like the backup power forward, backup center. I think he'd be solid in small roles, but also, again, defensively, just very tough. I don't know how he's going to fit with the Miami Heat defensively. If he goes to a team like the Lakers, he'll be a backup. Like any team he'll go to right now, he'll be a backup. You know, and I think depending on the certain team, I think he can really show himself and be pretty good, especially if he goes to a playoff team like the Lakers or something, and he plays solid in just a minimized role. That'll look very good for him. But I also could see him going to a team like the Bulls, where it's just like the Bulls or a team like that where they don't really have anything to gain or lose. So it's like, Christian Wood, just come over here. You're the most talented free agent left, and you can play up your value again and maybe have another good year. But then again, how much, if he goes to that team and they're bad again, but he has another good season, how do we look at Christian Wood? It's very tough. I still think he's a very solid player, could contribute to teams. There's just a lot of factors that go into why Christian Wood's still a free agent. But I would not be surprised if Christian Wood gets picked up pretty soon in the next few days, because I think the talk now is ramping up about Christian Wood potentially signing somewhere. The second free agent out there I'm talking about is Kelly Oubre. It's very interesting that he's still a free agent. Kelly Oubre last year probably had his best year. He only played in 48 games because he hurt his wrist mid-season, and that kind of hurt him. But he had a really good season. He averaged 20 points per game, 5 rebounds, and assists, a steal. He shot 43% from the field. The shooting numbers don't look crazy, but also got to put a lot of contact in. He took his most shots ever because he was with the Charlotte Hornets, who didn't have LaMelo for a lot of the season. So a lot of his shots were just him by himself, kind of creating, trying to find something. He took a lot of very contested shots. And I feel like he's kind of similar spot to Christian Wood a little bit, where it's like he has not really contributed to winning a whole lot in his career. The last few seasons, he's with the Warriors when they were like not great. That was when Steph had his big year. The last series, he's with the Hornets, it's the Charlotte Hornets, But last year having a great statistical year, even though the Hornets weren't good, and it was only a 48 game sample size as well, which is a big factor. But I still really feel like Kelly Oubre can go to a team and contribute a lot. He's a wing that can provide offense, can provide a scoring spark off the bench, shooting the three ball, solid, getting to the rim, attacking, being very versatile there, and then defensively he's very solid. He's not an elite stopper, but it's not like he's going to be a liability. He's going to go out there and try his hardest and get steals, get in the passing lanes, and defend as well. So yeah, I'm very surprised that Kelly Oubre is still a free agent. I don't know who's going to pick him up, but I definitely get a feeling that a good team is going to pick him up. The Cavs have been a team that has been maybe linked to him, the Mavericks, but I still definitely feel like he can go to a team and it'll be a sneaky pickup, and then we're going to be like, dang, we just let Kelly Oubre go to that team. He's going to make a big impact on a very solid playoff team. Yeah, I'm very surprised that Kelly Oubre is still a free agent right now, especially he's still only 27 years old as well, so it's not like he's like 34 or anything. Like, he's still a solid age. So yeah, Kelly Oubre should be picked up soon, and I think he'll be a signing that he goes to a team and he'll contribute, and we're gonna look back at it and be like, dang, they got him for nothing. The third guy we're talking about is another Charlotte Hornet, and that is PJ Washington. He is currently a restricted free agent right now. His 4 years in Charlotte are up, and he's a restricted free agent. There's been a lot of talk about potentially coming back on the qualifying offer to go back to Charlotte for another 1 year stint, and then he'll hit the unrestricted free agent market next year. At this point, it doesn't really look like anybody's gonna offer him a big contract or anything that the Hornets wouldn't, accept or wouldn't match. PJ Washington's a very solid four. I think last year he had a pretty good year. Last year he averaged 15, 5 and 2 with a block per game. Shot 44% from the field, 34% from three. A career season for him. Yeah, I think he's a very just solid stretch it big. He plays more of a power forward center role, even though he is 6'7". He has that kind of game on the offensive end. He can shoot the three ball well. He can handle the ball a little bit and get to the rim and score. The mid range is pretty solid as well. And then defensively, he could be in a few different places because, again, he is 6'7". Even though he's a power forward center, he has a little bit of mobility that he can go on the perimeter and guard some guys. I think, yeah, he's a little bit of an underrated player when it comes to that. And, yeah, he's most likely probably going to maybe take the qualifying offer. If he doesn't get a contract offered to him soon, which from looking at it right now, I don't think anybody's really going to offer him anything. So I'm assuming he's probably just going to go back to the Hornets on the qualifying offer. But I think if he does have another solid season next year, he could definitely go into next year's free agency and make him a pretty solid amount of money. I think being a restricted free agent kind of messes that up as well, because if he was unrestricted, I feel like he would be on a team by now. But because he's restricted, no one really wants to make a push because it's like, all right, it's PJ Washington. Like, he's good, but it's not like he's going to come in and change a team. So teams are like, you know what, he'll just go back to Charlotte. We'll let him go. Like, it's not worth us even trying if the Hornets are going to just match any offer. The next guy I'm talking about is Jaylen Nowell. He is a free agent, unrestricted free agent, surprisingly, after spending his first 4 years with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the last 2 years, he's kind of broken out a little bit, especially last season. Last season, he had his best season. He played 65 games, which is the most in his career. He averaged just under 11 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. He shot 44% from the field. The three-point shot was linked there. He shot just 29% from three. But he is a bucket getter. He's a guy that instant offense off the bench, come in and give you a nice 12, 14 points. He's still young. He's still only 24 years old. He was a second-round pick back in 2019. And he has some solid moments for the Timberwolves. But now he didn't get offered a contract. He's out there in unrestricted free agency, and I think a team should go grab him. I think he's a guy that, again, come off the bench and provide some instant offense for you. If some teams are struggling with bench scoring, especially from the guard position, they can come in and do that. He's not a lights-out three-point shooter or anything. He doesn't get it done in a conventional way of the nowadays NBA, but he's a guy, points are points at the end of the day. He can come in, and even though he's not hitting a bunch of threes, he can come in and make an impact, getting to the rim and drawing fouls and doing all that stuff and get you a quick 12, 14 points when you need it to, and there's a space for guys like that. So I think Jaylen Nowell should be a guy that some teams that maybe lack some bench scoring or guard play should go out and try to sign and see. I think it could be a pretty solid payoff signing, again, because he's still so young. I feel like he was just starting to get kind of be a regular in the NBA or just starting to kind of get known a little bit. Because last year I think he had a pretty solid season. And the last free agent I'm talking about is Terrence Davis. Last year with the Kings, they played pretty solid. They played in 64 games. The numbers don't look crazy. The numbers, he averaged just 6 points, 2 rebounds, and assists. He shot 42% from the field, 36% from three. But I think he played a very solid role in Sacramento. A guy that come off the bench, give you some energy on both ends. On offense, he gets some big time shots, the three. He can attack the basket as well. He has kind of sneaky athleticism a little bit. He can attack the rim, and he just plays his role. He's the guy that comes in. He's not going to do too much. Not going to take a bunch of shots. Not going to, try to be the main guy. He comes in and plays his role very well on both ends. On offense, he knows shoot the threes, and when you do have a lane to attack, attack. Now, on defense, he's a guy that can guard guards and wings. He might be only 6'4", but he's got a good wingspan. He gives a lot of effort, and he's a very solid defender. So I think Terrence Davis is a guy that definitely could come in. He's not going to be a crazy big name or signing, or he's not going to give you any insane stats, but he could come in and definitely make impacts on some games. Last year, he had a game in the playoffs against the Warriors where he came in, I think it was Game 7. I think, even though he wasn't really playing that much this last series, he came in Game 7 and had a big first half. He had like 4 or 5 3-pointers in that game. So that's the type of guy he is. He'll come in, even when not expected to. He can come in and give you some pretty solid minutes to provide you some energy that you need. So I think Terrence Davis is a guy that could be a sneaky signing of a team like the Celtics or a team of that nature where like a top team signs him. He comes in and has some pretty good moments, just a good winning player. But yeah, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. There's so many other free agent guys I could have named. It literally was like I had like a full list of guys. But at the end of the day, these are my 5 players I think really can come in and realistically make an impact on teams, right away. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Once again, if you do have the content around here, consider subscribing, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow.